straight line, right? This is the classic movie example. You're trying to get, hopefully you can see it, from point A to point B. Fastest way, straight line. But you just got to point B, so you, or whatever, you've created a little hole in space. So now, next destination, you make another long trip. You do it one time, make another wormhole. What's that do? It folds it. And then just like that, all right, boom. Just like any space movie, we went right through there. Hi, welcome back to misformeeple. My name's Mitch.
And I'm Morgan, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a holiday gift guide where we recommend games in 10 different categories.
All right. So what's the first category that we're starting with?
The first category is just kind of going to be like kind of a general, like anyone. Like if you need like a gift for like a Secret Santa, or you know, your family drew names for Christmas, you got somebody and you're like, oh, I don't really know what to get them.
Yeah,
these are kind of games anyone will enjoy.
Non-gamers and gamers, right?
Yeah, non-gamers, gamers, games that kind of play well at all different age groups. So we have 2 picks for each category that we're going to do today. So our picks for this are Monikers and Just One. So Monikers
classic games
is published by CMYK Games, and Just One is published by Repos Productions.
Repos.
So Monikers is basically just kind of like a Taboo meets charades. You're on like different teams, and you're trying to. The first round, you can describe the word on the card however you want to your team, and then in round 2, it's the same group of cards, but you only can say a 1-word clue for your team to guess that. And then the third round, it's all charades. It's a silly, really fun party game. Everyone can get into it. You really make a lot of like inside jokes. It's a really, really good game kind of for anyone.
Yeah. Just One? You want me to talk about that
sure.
one? So Just One is another party-style game for 3 to 7 players, in which the back of the box describes it the best, to where there's a card with 5 different sections on there, 5 different words, and there's going to be a guesser who will draw a card randomly, not look at it, and pick a number 1 through 5. So in the example, they picked 2, and it's chocolate. Now everyone else writes on their little dry erase board that's a small little slate. They write down a 1-word clue to help the guesser, guess chocolate. But before they open their eyes, all the people writing down clues compare their answers, and if any answers match, then those clues are eliminated.
Right, like if 2 persons wrote the word bar, like chocolate bar, or if 2 people wrote the word like
sweet.
Yeah, sweet. Those clues get thrown out, and then the guesser is only left with
milk and Belgian.
Right, and then they have, I think, 2 guesses to guess the word.
I mean, we've been house ruling it for 2. Technically, it's just 1 guess.
I think the first round is 2.
We house ruled that.
Oh, did we?
Yeah,
Okay.
because we were doing so bad when we first played this
But Just One is a cooperative game. It's really, really fun. Plays up to, I think, 7 people.
Yep.
And then this one plays up to 16 plus players.
Anyone and everyone can play these games.
As long as you have a team, you can play Monikers. As long as you have a team. You need 2 teams to play Monikers. But yeah.
It's the other team's problem if you got a team.
Yeah. Okay. So that is our recommendations for anyone. Monikers, Just One.
All right, so what's our next category, Morgan?
Our next category is for the artist.
The artist.
So our picks for the artist, the creative person in your family, or if you have a friend that's very creative, these are the games that we would recommend. So we have Canvas, published by R2I Games.
Sure.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, and then Sunset Over Water from, I think it's Pencil First. Yeah,
yep,
Pencil First Games. Beth Sobel art. If we were going to recommend art game and not have Beth Sobel on there,
yes,
I wouldn't be doing this video.
So anyways, in Canvas, you are trying to create the most beautiful piece of artwork by layering these transparent cards in order to score the most points by matching different symbols and swatches on your card. There's different scoring conditions, and it's really, really fun. And the best part about this game is you can actually hang it on the wall. So it's a board game that you can just display as a piece of art. There is also an expansion for this called Reflections, which we also have, which we'll continue the painting. So it's a really good game for, you know, an artist in your family. It's very easy to learn, and it's very good game for art.
There's even another expansion for this that extends the painting further.
Yes, that is on Kickstarter right now, I believe.
Is it?
Yes.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't remember what that one's called, though.
I don't remember either. I just know it extends the art further,
Yeah.
and I thought it looked cool. All right, so in Sunset Over Water, it's a game for 1 to 4 players in which everyone's like landscape painters who are trying to wake up the earliest to go out and paint the most paintings and sell those paintings for like commissions that you get in order to score points. And it's really, you like the way you do that time mechanic in the morning is kind of unique because the time is also how you move your hiker across the grid as well.
Right, yeah, you can do if it's like orthogonally or up and down, left and right, or diagonal, depends on like the time card that you select.
Yeah, because you have all these paintings that are out in a grid fashion and you're moving your hiker, but based on your movement card determines what time you wake up, so you might not move before your opponent. So your opponent might get to that painting spot that you wanted to before you. I really like this game. Like, art's not like a big thing that draws me in, but these two games draw me in for art.
Yes, they are very thematic, and they're both very like easy to learn, even for like non-gamers. So if you were nervous about like gifting one of these to like an art friend or something, they both are very simple to learn. But there is a lot of like strategy to it as well. These are games we really enjoy. We've introduced them to a lot of people. We haven't had any issues introducing them.
No, these are good. Fantastic games. We wouldn't be recommending them if they were bad.
Exactly. So that is Canvas and Sunset Over Water. All right, our next category is for the chess lover or the strategist. All right, so we have Tack, a beautiful game published by James Ernest Games, and
That Time You Killed Me by Pandasaurus.
Yes. So Tack, a beautiful game is based on the novel A Wise Man's Fear, published by Patrick Rothfuss. In this game, it is very chess-like, it is a 2-player only game where you are versing an opponent and you are trying to build, the first one to build a road as a path across the board. So that path can be any connecting line with your pieces.
Yeah, you're either trying to go from left to right or top to down. No,
is that orthogonally?
Yeah, because you can't connect the road diagonally.
Yeah, any orthogonal...
up, down, left, right. Your road
up, down, left, right. Road by placing pieces. And then there's different pieces called capstones that can knock down walls that people place.
Yeah, and capstones also count towards your road too because it's like a capital.
Yeah, it's really cool. You can pick up pieces and kind of like move them and stack them along. It's a really, really fun strategy game. Plays very quickly. Very similar to chess, but it's different enough that it's kind of like Chess Plus.
Oh, I love the game.
Yes.
Like, if you've ever even read the books, like this plays out so well. I know we've recommended this game before, but I love Tack.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite games. Even though we got to get like a nice quality set from Etsy or something.
Yeah, but if you have a chess lover in your family, we definitely recommend Tack because it's the most similar, I feel like, to chess.
Yeah, I mean, chess is an abstract strategy game, and so are both of these. So, I mean, this is about as close as you're going to get.
Yes, to the game chess, but it's like a branching out.
Yeah. So for the other recommendation in this category is That Time You Killed Me, which is also an abstract strategy game, and it plays it over time to where there's 3 separate boards that are checkered like a chessboard, and they represent the past, present, and future. Anything that you do in the past is going to affect the present and the future. Anything that you do in the present is going to affect the future, to where you move your one piece. Does that move your other piece? It does, right? How does this game work? Because I freaking forgot.
If you move in the past,
hang on, yeah. Does that move it in the future?
affects your present in the future. Like because there's different levels that you can unlock, right?
No, because you can go back in time.
If you go back in time, you make a copy of yourself.
Right, because eventually that past self of you will grow up to become the present self you.
Yes, so if you move to the past, you create a copy of yourself.
Yes.
So you have extra pieces.
But if you're going to the future,
I feel like we're not explaining this.
We're just getting caught in the
It's
time
really
mechanic
not that
now.
complicated.
No, but there's modules in this game. So once you wrap your head around how time travel works, the objective of the game is to eliminate
Your opponent.
Your opponent, who is either the person who invented time travel. One of you is the person who invented time travel, and where this is getting on a long rant. One of you is the person who invented time travel. The other person is the person who killed the person who invented time travel, but no one knows which one's which. Kind of like time paradox. I figured it out because I found the secret module inside the box. I'm not going to tell you where, and she won't let me open it. But anyway, this game is modular. It's got 4 different modules that introduces like trees and bushes to where you can plant a seed in the
Is
past.
that spoilers?
I'm only talking about the first one, which is in every video of this game.
Oh, okay.
So if you ever
okay.
looked up anything about this game, you'll see the very first module, which has trees.
I think that's the
seeds.
easiest way to explain how
Yeah.
the board works is with
yeah.
the tree module, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why people do it. If you plant a seed in the past, it becomes a bush, and then that bush
In
eventually
the present.
becomes... Yeah, in the present. And then in the future, it becomes a tree. So if someone were to remove the seed in the past, both those items will be gone in the present and future.
And you
if
can use them to block opponents.
Yeah, you're
in
trying to
the
knock...
future.
You could knock them into this deadly bush or fall that tree down or fell the tree... Knock the tree down.
Knock the tree
Knock the tree down and kill one of your freaking people. Fantastic game. I love it. It hurts my brain thinking about how the time travel stuff works.
It is really, it's like 3D chess almost,
Yeah.
because you're playing on 3 separate boards and you're hopping around, and then you have to think like, okay, well, if I move to the past, then how will this affect my other 2 boards?
Right, because you're trying to eliminate them off of 2 boards.
But if you move your pawn out of the past into the present or the future, you can no longer go back to the past, right?
You are limited as to how far you can stretch your
copies.
temporal energy.
Your copies,
We'll say.
yeah.
You have, essentially, you can make 4 copies of yourself.
But once you move that last
Once you make
pawn
that- yeah.
into out of the past, you can no longer go to the past.
Yeah,
You don't have
yeah.
any more pawns.
If you don't have any more pawns, you're just stuck. You can
So
play yourself.
This is more of a strategy
Don't
game.
get stuck in the future.
I mean, they're both very, very strategy games.
I don't know if we did at all a good job explaining it. I'm
We probably turned them off that time you killed me, if anything.
Yeah. I think we have a...
If you want extreme chess, play that time you killed me. Okay, so that is Tack in That Time You Killed Me for our strategy chess lover category.
If we haven't mentioned it before, we are using a new camera today, so if we're constantly in and out blurry, we don't know. So just deal with it.
Let us know if this
Yeah,
video
I mean,
does
we'll
not
know.
look good.
We'll know it when we edit it, but I mean, you're just gonna have to suck it up today.
So the next category is For the Nature Lover.
I'm ready.
That is Parks, published by Keymaster Games, and
Cascadia, published by AEG.
Parks is a 1 to 5 player, I believe it's 5 player, worker placement, resource management game. Where you are hiking along a trail trying to collect different resources. You have trees, mountains, raindrops, sunshine, trying to collect all of these different resources in order to visit the most points, or visit
them points.
in order to visit the most national parks, which are victory points at the end of the game. Along the way, you can also pick up gear, which will let you do different actions or let you swap out different resources throughout the game. It's very, very fun. There are 2 expansions to this game, which I highly recommend. That is Parks Nightfall and Parks Wildlife. Great game if you have hikers or anybody who likes going to the national parks, just being outside. It is very easy to learn. The components are awesome. There's wooden components. The artwork on the cards are gorgeous, very well illustrated. This is one of my favorite games. So that is Parks.
Next game is Cascadia from AEG. So in Cascadia, you are drafting habitat tiles paired with animal tokens to build out your ecosystem. And on the habitat tiles, they have various habitats or ecosystems like forest tile or wetlands or lakes or rivers.
Or desert.
Mountains, to where you're just trying to build large landscapes of those, trying to get a very large desert, a large forest, large mountain. Meanwhile, when you're drafting those, you're also drafting animal tokens and trying to place those into your ecosystem. And on those tiles, they have animal tokens that are allowed to be placed on them, and there's all sorts of different scoring conditions in this. I think 5 different scoring conditions. But
for each animal.
For each animal.
So
There's
you can
5
swap
different
it out.
animals that there is. Like elk score if you have elk in a straight line. Bears score if they're in pairs. Eagle score if there's like separate. Salmon score if they're in a...
Like a wavy, like adjacent but not directly adjacent to each other. Like in a line.
Yeah. They can be a
wavy line.
Wavy line. And what was the last one? Foxes just want diversity around them. They want all sorts of different animals clustered around them. It's a really good game. Like, I forgot how good it was till we played this last night, because you play it a lot with your parents.
Yeah, it's a really good, like, puzzly game. Again, the artwork, this is also illustrated by Beth Sobel.
So good.
But the artwork on it is gorgeous. It's really fun trying to connect your, like, the different habitats to try to, like, make it look really pretty, but also, like, line it up so that you can score and place your animal tokens down in order to score them. The scoring conditions that Mitch mentioned were just from side A. So, as we mentioned before, each animal has 5 potential different scoring conditions.
Now, do you have to play with all B or
no,
all A?
You
So
can
you can mix them up?
Mix and match them.
Okay.
So if you want to challenge yourself, once you've played with side A, you can try side B, or it goes all the way up to E, I believe. So you can change them towards like, oh, now the bear scores a little bit differently, or now the eagle scores a little bit differently. So there's a lot of replayability here, but it is simple enough that you can teach people very easily how to play it, because most people understand the concept of like, oh, you just want the grasslands to be next to each other. Oh, okay, I just need to get the eagle away from each other, because
makes sense.
Yeah, the scoring cards like show examples, which are really helpful. So there is a lot of strategy, but it is pretty easy to introduce to non-gamers as well.
Yeah, I really like the tagline on this one. Cascadia is a gorgeous spatial puzzle game for the whole family.
Yep.
Like, I like the taglines on a lot of these games.
That
I
pretty
just
much
haven't been reading them out loud.
Sums it up for sure. But that is our picks for the nature lover. We have Parks and Cascadia. So the next category is for the puzzle lover, or for like the thinker, and that is, we have Azul.
In Project L.
So Azul is published by Next Move Games, and in Azul you are trying to complete your wall of mosaic tiles, and you are drafting tiles from the center board in order to be able to move them over to your wall in order to score points. There's 5 different colors, and you're trying to get the same colors in a row in order to move them over. And then you score points if they're adjacent to each other, if you collect all of the same color, if you have all of the tiles in a row, like a vertical line, and if you have a horizontal line. If you ever can't place tiles, they fall to the floor, and then those are negative points. This is a really fun game. It's very colorful, it's very thinky. And we've introduced this to a lot of non-gamers as well. This one plays really easily. It kind of takes a round or two for them to kind of like understand like, oh, okay, now I kind of get how the scoring works. Once you do like 1 round of scoring, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've introduced this to my parents, and they love this game. We've introduced it to some of our other friends, and it's a really good game for non-gamers. So that is Azul.
All right, next up, Project L. Project L, if anyone in your family has ever played Tetris, this feels like Tetris in a board game. Now, tile pieces aren't falling down from the sky, and you're not trying to squeeze them in. You're drafting puzzle pieces that have conditions that need to be met, that have like a grid on them, like an L shape, to where it's got like 3 little pips in that L that you got to fill. And you're going to use your tiny puzzle pieces to fill in those spaces. After you complete a puzzle, you'll score those points, and you'll get a new piece that you can use to complete more puzzles and bigger puzzles to score more points. And you'll just keep going through until you complete all of the black puzzle tiles, or I think that's how you just end the game. The last black puzzle tile starts the end condition of the game.
Score up the points.
Yeah, because there's black tile ones which are bigger puzzles that require a lot of pieces to complete, and then there are the white tile ones that are just only require a few. And we'll just turn it around. I don't know how well that captures it, but look at that. It's puzzles.
Yeah, so for this category was for the puzzler. or the thinker. So the next category is for the well-traveled, and our picks for that are Trekking the World, published by Underdog Games.
And Boomerang USA. Really any Boomerang edition, but we got Boomerang USA.
And that is published by Grail Games.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, totally forgot. Grail Games.
So in Trekking the World, you're trying to travel across different countries in order to visit the most destinations. Once you're able to visit a destination, you can claim that card and then you can get victory points. But like Parks, this game is very beautifully illustrated. There's, different, different world-renowned locations from all over the world. And the cards are beautifully illustrated. It's a really fun game to play. It's a really good family game. Again, it's very easy to learn. It's 2 to 5 players. It doesn't play that long, about 30 to 60 minutes, but it is a good experience, and it's really pretty out on the table. So if you have anyone who loves to travel, this is a really good board game to get them. And that is Trekking the World.
In Boomerang USA, players are traveling across the United States trying to see touristy destinations, native animals, all trying to score points before their vacation ends. I mean, what I like about Boomerang USA is that like all the site locations are actual like locations in the United States, and it's kind of got like really cool art to where it's like if you've been if you've been to like New York and seen the Statue of Liberty in Washington D.C., it might like bring back memories of your vacations that you've had and whatnot. To where I mean it does just embody the traveling theme.
Yeah, because it's just
well.
Iconic locations across the USA. There's also a Boomerang Europe version and a Boomerang Australia edition, which plays very similarly, where again you're just traveling across those different countries, trying to see and do as much as you can in order to score points, cross off different countries that you've been to. In the European one, it's a really good traveler game.
Now I know Boomerang, was it Australia? Is that one on BGA? Are all of them on BGA?
I know the Boomerang Europe is on BGA, and I think this one and Australia are as well, but don't quote me on that. I do know for sure Europe is on BGA.
It played well on BGA.
It did, yeah.
Okay, that's for the Traveler.
Yep, for the Traveler. We have Trekking the World and Boomerang. All right, our next category we have for the Explorer, or the Exploration category. So our picks for this are Cartographers, published by Thunderworks Games.
And Lost Ruins of Arnak from CGE. So Lost Ruins of Arnak embodies like Indiana Jones so well into this. Now I know there's one other game that like hits Indiana Jones like right on the head, but this one you are an archaeologist that is going exploring while it's got a deck building mechanic to where you're drafting cards that are like ancient artifacts that are going to help you explore farther into the jungle and help you fight guardians, which unlock different locations, and which allows you to then explore even farther and gain resources to move up a research track. Oh my gosh, this game's good. Like talking about it, I'm mad we haven't played it more recently
because it's a deck builder. You say that?
Because it's a deck builder. Yeah, and I really enjoy deck building mechanics. It does have an expansion to it, which makes what I've heard
Expedition Leaders, which we haven't played with yet, but it does add asymmetric player powers.
Yeah, to where that's I think going to be fantastic when we add it. To where if you got anyone who's like into like the Indiana Jones theme or exploration, this hits the nail on the head for it. And the components of it are so nice, to where there's the arrowheads and like the gems. Oh man, isn't there like a gear or something like that? There's one other like super nice component I thought. Tablets.
Yeah, tablets.
Yeah, the tablets. Tablets are cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is a fun game. It pops. Looks good.
I really want to play that again, actually.
Yeah. When I start talking about a game and then I start selling myself on the game, I'm like, man, it's a good game. All right, I'm going to pull this one just off. I'm going to set it aside right here.
Okay.
So that way you have more room for your cartographers.
Sure. So we have the collector's edition of Cartographers, but if you do get Cartographers, it does come in a much smaller box. if you don't get the collector's edition. But in Cartographers, you are a cartographer trying to make a map of, I think, the Queen's Kingdom is what it says in the book.
Oh, cool.
And so you are flipping over these cards, which will give you like a choice. Like, oh, do you want to either build, like draw 2 farm, or do you want to draw 2 like villages? And so you choose on your map where on your board you're going to draw 2 farms and 2 villages. The collector's edition is really cool because it comes with colored pencils, so you can...
Okay, I was going to ask, I remembered we had colored pencils. I didn't know if we pulled them out or if they came with them.
It comes with the collector's edition, so like for your farms, you can use the yellow pencil for the fields of wheat, and then like for your villages, you can pick a different color. And you are just trying to place out your map to meet different scoring conditions. So like one scoring condition might be like, oh, you need a group of villages like all together. But there's different scoring conditions based on where you place things on your map. But at the very end of it, like your map looks beautiful, especially if you use colored pencils. If you don't, you can still kind of like draw in things and like use different markers and stuff. But it's really, really pretty. Again, a really easy game. It's a flip and write. So you can kind of play with any number of players as long as you have the sheets for it. But yeah, it's a really good game, and that is Cartographers.
Yeah, and we had Lost Ruins of Arnak, both for the explorer and your family.
Yes. All right, the next category we have is for the animal lover, and that is Wingspan, published by Stonemaier Games.
And Everdell, published by Starling Games.
Do you want to go first?
No.
Okay.
But I'll pull mine down so that way you don't have to hide behind your box.
Thank you. So Wingspan is a competitive engine building bird collection game where you're just trying to have the best birds in your aviary. So you're playing these different bird cards into 3 different habitats in your aviary. And the different bird cards that you're laying down are going to have like powerful combos, that will let you like lay more eggs or gain different food or draw more cards in order to score victory points at the end of the game. It's really, really cool. All of the bird cards have like different like facts about the bird on them, where the bird is found in nature. There's all of these different colorful eggs that you put on your aviaries. There's a really pretty like birdhouse dice tower where you drop the food dye into. It's a really good game. This game is super popular. It's really good for, it's a game that I feel like brings people into the hobby, even though it is a little bit more complex. I think birds are just like a theme that people are drawn to. So
there's a huge birding community.
There is,
huge.
yeah.
Never
so like,
imagined.
Even though it is an engine builder and it is a little bit more strategic, it is a good game to like bring people into the hobby into. It's a game that you can really kind of play over and over again. That is Wingspan.
All right, and if you're not into birds, but you still like animals, then you got to check out Everdell. Everdell is a game that's played over a couple seasons. I believe, are they prepping for winter in Everdell?
I think play over all 4. No. Spring, summer, autumn.
Spring, summer, autumn. That's right, because you're building out your little critter civilization by doing worker placement. What's worker placement? You got a little token. It's called a worker. You place it and take the action of that location. When you take an action of a location, that can gather you various resources. You can gather wood, amber, stone,
berries.
Berries. Oh, the berries are cool because they're like that. They're a little squishy. They're awesome. The components of this game. The table presence of this game. It's got a giant tree going up the middle, which has I think also the worker placement spots on the tree as well, because those are spots that change with each game. So the other part of the game is tableau building. Throughout the game, you're going to be collecting cards, which are like your woodland creatures. They're going to be like farmers, farmers' wives, kings, queens.
There's locations too, though, like the university and the church.
You can have a farm, because there's bonus points for getting like certain sets together. Like if you get the husband, wife, and farmer, having all 3 of those are huge points compared to like having the king and queen. I beat Morgan with a lot of farmers. It was awesome. Fantastic. But either way, it's a beautiful game. Definitely heavy on the theme. Everyone's meeples are a little bit different. I think there's squirrel meeples, rabbits. I forget what the other couple ones are.
Turtle.
Is it a turtle?
Yeah, like I blue people are turtles.
Oh, I like that. I think I was like the rabbits or something the last
I
time.
don't remember what I think hedgehog or something is the fourth one.
I don't know. It's got cute meeples, cute art, very just, cute animal stuff. Who doesn't like that? So yeah, Everdell.
So those are our picks for animal lovers, Wingspan and Everdell. Moving on to our next category, we have for the space lover. That is Space, published by AEG.
And Wormholes, also published by AEG. Just a lot of AEG games that were thrown at you today.
AEG is very good for family weight games, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So in Space, you command a fleet of spaceships numbered from 1 to 12. And each of those will have different actions. So like the 2, since it rolls fairly common, it might give you 1 coin. But the 12, which is, the statistically harder to roll, might give you 5 coins or something. So throughout the game, you are rolling, on your turn you will roll 2 die, and you can either take the value of both die together or separate, and then you will take the action for each of those spaceships. So if you roll, 2 2s, you can either take the that was a bad example.
No, that's a good example. You can either take your ship that's in the 4 slot, or you can take the ship that's in the 2 slot twice.
So if you, so say you take the 4 slot, and that gives you 2 coins. So you get 2 coins that you can spend at the market in order to upgrade your spaceships. So if you were to upgrade, say, your 2 spaceship, you would take the new 2 spaceship, put it down, and you would take your old 2 spaceship and you would flip it around and tuck it underneath.
Yeah, because all of them have that red bar.
Which will give you an action that can be performed when other players roll the die. So say now it's Mitch's turn, he goes to roll the die, and say he happens to roll a 2. Well, since I've upgraded my 2 ship, I would get to take the red action that my previous 2 ship gave me. So I might get a coin, or I might get victory points, or I might get a rocket, which will be my base income that will refresh every round. So you're just going through the game, and it's the first person to get up to 40 rockets will be the winner. It's really, really fun. It's nice because once you upgrade your ship, it's like you're constantly like getting stuff on other people's turns. So it feels very rewarding, especially when you have like a strategy. It's really, really fun. It's a good game to teach non-gamers. We've taught this to non-gamers and they've loved it. But yeah, that is Space.
Well, I mean, more specifically, this is the command station expansion, which...
So this is like Space, the big box, because it holds both expansions, which we don't have yet.
But we got the big box.
We didn't get the big box. But yeah, this is... the normal version of this game is a little bit smaller than this.
It's Wormholes. I showed you Wormholes already. So Wormholes, all right, get this. You're exploring the galaxy. Everyone's starting in the same space station, right? And you have a deck of cards, which are passenger tickets, and you're trying to get these passengers to these planets across the galaxy. But the thing is, there's not a fast way to get there. So you gotta take the long haul to get there. How do you get there? With your little freaking energy battery tokens that
I forgot about the batteries.
Yeah, that represent freaking movement. All right, so you're moving slow as heck at the start of the game. You flip over all 3, move 3 spaces. Next person flips over all 3, moves 3 spaces. You keep doing that until somebody gets to a planet. Then you drop off that person. Now you're deep in the galaxy, right? What can you do? Make a wormhole. What's a wormhole, you say? It's... So, freaking, the best way to describe wormhole is with a sheet of paper. Classic, this is space, right? Freaking, you would think to get from here to here is a straight line, right? This is the classic movie example. We're going to try to get from point, oh Jesus.
I feel like this is very extreme. example, Mitch.
I've been waiting the entire video to talk about these space games, Morgan.
I'm sorry.
So you're trying to get, hopefully you can see it, from point A to point B. Fastest way, straight line. But you just got to point B, so or whatever. You drop a wormhole right here. You've created a little hole in space. So now, next destination, you make another long trip. You do it one time. Make another wormhole. What's that do? It folds it. And then just like that, oh, Jesus, that was bad. That was bad. All right, boom. Just like any space movie, went right through there. Now anyone can go through your wormhole that you made, but what do they got to pay? They got to pay the wormhole tax. So with the wormhole tax, you get 1 coin from the pot. And the game is all about getting passengers to where they're going to get money and expand your wormhole empire, so that way people are utilizing your routes to deliver people to where, like, you're getting that sweet, sweet cheddar, Morgan.
The moon cheddar?
That sweet moon cheddar, because people are using your routes to get to these planets. And I really just like this game.
It's a really fun game. It's a pick up and deliver game.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I liked pick up and deliver until we played Moonshine Empire, and then we played this, and I was like, oh man, that's a mechanic that does it for me. It's a simple mechanic, but
yeah, everyone has 5 wormholes that they're laying out. So
Yeah.
it's like you're making wormholes, and then other people are making wormholes. So you're trying to figure out the best route to deliver your passengers where they need to go.
So the back of the box describes it way easier. Create wormholes, deliver passengers, connect the galaxy.
Yep, that sums it
That
up.
could have been the whole explanation. But yeah, it's 1 to 5 players, 45 minutes. I love the game. Yeah.
I do too. It's really fun. So that is Space Base and Wormholes for our picks for the Space Lover. Okay, the last category that we have is for the Fantasy Lover. And so our picks are Call to Adventure, published by Brotherwise Games.
And Clank, a deck building adventure.
Published by Renegade Games.
Thank you, I forgot.
So in Call to Adventure, you are going to be crafting a hero. You start off with an origin, a motivation, and a destiny card. And throughout the course of the game, you are going to be casting these rune tiles, or rune tokens, in order to complete different challenges, in order to achieve your objective that's on your overall destiny card. So these challenges might be like, oh, you could either defeat the Dark Lord, or you can save the village. So you kind of choose which path you want to do, and then you cast these runes, and depending on what runes you have and the symbols that you've acquired on your starting cards or other challenges that you've completed, you add up all of the symbols, and you have to reach a certain threshold in order to overcome that challenge. If you do, you get to tuck that card underneath your character cards, and then once you get 3, you move on to like the next section. And then once your character is completely built out, you add up all of your victory points, and then the game is over. But this game is really cool. It's really thematic. There's like a little bit of like a choose your own adventure type of mechanic into
it's definitely
it.
got to choose your
The
own adventure.
runes are like these chunky tiles that feel really nice, and you're trying to balance like, okay, what would this character do versus like, you know, what you need to get like for your victory points. But yeah, you're just, you know, you're balancing like your hero, anti-hero, which is like basically like light or dark if you're a villain or a hero throughout the game in order to score victory points at the end. It's really thematic. It's really, really fun for anybody who likes like RPGs or like designing a character and those types of game. Call to Adventure is the game for them.
So Clank, deck building adventure. Obviously, it's got a deck building mechanic to it. What does that mean? It means you're collecting cards throughout the game, building out your own personal deck, which is going to determine what you do in the game. What are you trying to do in this game? You're trying to dive deep into the dungeon and collect treasure before the dragon wakes up and just kills everybody. And you're racing against the other players in the game to get down there, grab the most valuable loot, and get the heck out of there. It's crazy because the top part of the dungeon are lesser valued treasures, but you can easily just grab that and get out. And then like the timer starts for the end of the game, to where the dragon's woken up and he's going to start killing people. But the more valuable treasure is down deep. So do you risk it and go all the way down and get like the crown that's worth 30 points? Or do you play it safe and just get like the freaking necklace and get out? But the deck building mechanic is fantastic in this, because you are playing down booths which represent how many spaces you can move. You're playing down cards that have gold values on them, I believe, or experience points that allow you to draft more cards into your deck. There's the unique cards that you have that when you purchase them, some of them let you teleport to adjacent rooms. Oh man, there's so many like crazy combos you can do with teleporting.
Yes.
Especially if you don't have a key, like teleporting around like locked doors and everything like that. Yeah, I like this game, and I really like deck builders. But one thing I forgot to mention is the dragon part of it. I know it briefly touched on. Yeah, is it making noise?
Making clanks. Clanks.
Yeah. So everyone has cards in their deck that says add clank, and what clank is you're making noise and you're trying not to wake up the dragon. But every now and then there's a dragon attack. So any noise that was made or clanks, you grab those cubes and you put them in the dragon bag, and then depending on how pissed the dragon is, you're going to be pulling.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be pulling out a certain number of cubes which represent the dragon attacking those specific players. Now the bag starts with black tokens, which doesn't mean anything, but there's your colored cubes and your opponent's colored cubes that will be in the bag as well, based on how much noise you made. So it's like, if you haven't made a whole lot of noise, you really don't have to worry. But at the same time, if you're making a lot of clank and noise, you're probably hauling it through the dungeon. You're probably down at the bottom getting treasure. You probably got a lot to lose if that's the case.
Yeah, you're more vulnerable to dragon attacks.
That's how the game balances itself, is if you go slow, you're not making a whole lot and you're not at risk to dying. But it's a fantastic game. There's so many expansions to this with different boards you can play on, like the Silk
Mummy,
and Gold,
the Spider and Gold one, the Sunken Treasure, which is like a underwater one.
Then there's one that adds is it like special player powers?
Yeah, there's the 6-player expansion, which adds asymmetrical player powers, where they all have like a unique deck.
Yeah, but this, like, we're in the fantasy category, right? This is who I'm recommending. Yeah, if you like fantasy, you're gonna like freaking diving down into a dungeon getting treasure. It's fantastic. Love this game.
All right, so our picks for the fantasy lover is Call to Adventure.
And Clank, a deck building adventure.
All right, so those were our recommendations for our 10 categories for this holiday gift guide. We know Black Friday is coming up, and people are kind of starting to think about like what gifts to buy for the holidays. So we wanted to put this video out just sharing some of our recommendations across different categories. Let us know if there's any categories you would like to see us cover. Maybe we'll do like a second series of this. Yeah,
the category, games for kids, games for, the video gamer in your life, stuff like that. Let us know the categories you want to see, if you want to see it.
Or if there's any games that you would include on any of these lists. If you have games that you would recommend for animal lover or nature lover that we maybe missed or should have included.
Well, we only talked about 2.
Yeah, we only picked 2 for each category.
So if you liked what you saw, make sure to click the like button to help the video out. Click the subscribe button down below because it helps our channel out overall. And click the bell notification so that we get notified when we release videos every Sunday. And also, we are now part of the BG Hub Discord. So check out the link in the description down below and join the Discord and chat with us. Like, come play games.
Chat with us, be part of a community of other board gamers, play some games online with other board gamers.
Yeah, I'm looking to play people in Azul right now. So, we'll get a game going in BGA.
Yep, so we shared the Discord with several other content creators. 2 Sheep, 1 Wheat, Second Star to the Left, and Lobby of Hobbies.
Yeah, all amazing content creators and fantastic people.
We'll link their channels down below as well. If you're not subscribed, definitely go check them out.
Yeah, but my name's Mitch.
And I'm Morgan. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
can't do our theme song. I don't. We need to add words.
And more than doing board game video.
This might be production for the people at home. That's gonna make the cuts very obvious.
Lord, I didn't even think of
Son
that.
of, we're gonna be talking, and then that got snapped red real quick in a lot of these cuts. You can see it.
I can't see that far away.
You need glasses then.
I mean, I can make us out, but I can't see like details if like a hair is missing. By James Ernest Games.
You can keep going. Oh my
Literally
god.
all
Oh my
the
god.
pieces came out for the nature lover. So
What game is that over here?
the box lid is. I put that game away last
We
night.
just played this the other night.
The box is on.
Jesus Christ, these things are fucking heavy.
You are oh.
Let's just start this whole video over.
We'll do it.
What I really like about the game is the little eggs.
Yeah.
They look like candy, and you might choke and die.
Space station. Is that correct?
No.
Yes.
This box so fucking heavy.
Yeah, it's.
Clank. A deck building. Yeah, this one's a big one.
Stop it! Travis,
I'm so roll.